So, thank you for checking out my podcast. And if you're wondering how I record my podcast, well, I actually use Anchor, which is a fantastic tool, free resource to use. But if you're new to podcasting like I have been, it really helps you to get started without worrying about editing and doing all the sort of hard work yourself. It does it all for you. If you haven't used it, it's probably the easiest way to make a podcast. So, let me explain a few tips for you. It's free, which is fantastic. You don't have to pay anyone to edit your podcast or pay for software. There's loads of tools that allow you to record and edit the podcast right from your phone and computer. So again, you don't need any special equipment. So if you're looking to start a podcast and you're sort of on a budget, it's a perfect way of starting. The best thing which I found, it helps to distribute your podcast for you, so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more hosts that listen to podcasts. The best thing for me was that, because trying to distribute it from another software was really confusing, and all the technical know-how, which I don't have, was done for me by Anchor. So you can just, once you click the podcast, say where you want it delivered to, and it will do all the work for you, which is fantastic. And also, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. So ads like you listen to on this one, this is an ad just talking about Anchor. You can get a little bit of commission from that, which is great. So extra bit of money in your pocket from doing what you love. And I have no problem doing this advert for Anchor, because ultimately it has allowed me to create a podcast. So if you're passionate about something, I'm going to talk about it, and it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So for me, I would recommend Anchor 100% if you're looking to start to do a podcast. And obviously then you can, elaborate and get better with your podcast, but you can just get better sound equipment. But all the software you need to do a podcast on the go or at home on a computer is all from Anchor. So for me, it's the best tool I've ever used when it comes to starting a podcast. So definitely, if you're interested in starting your own podcast, whether that is on health or fitness or travel, just pick something that you're passionate about and talk about it, then download the free Anchor app, or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Hello and welcome to the Plant-Based Revolution podcast with your host, myself, Neil Damrell from My Lifestyle Coach. Thank you very much for joining me again today. And today's episode is taken from the Plant Powered Show that I hosted recently on my Facebook page, talking about Motivational Monday. So this went out on a Monday, hence the title. But it is a really, really great episode which talks about how you can find your fuel to motivate you to maybe lose weight, get healthier, run a marathon, make more money, or improve your relationships with your loved ones. Whatever your goals are in life, this is going to be applied to anything, and that's even becoming more plant-based, and that's the idea of the podcast, getting more plant-based. So hopefully this episode will provide you with the fuel and help you find your own fuel to achieve the results that you want to achieve. So in this episode, I briefly discuss about what was my fuel, what kind of made me change, what was my catalyst for change, and what helps drive me and gives me the fuel to change. So hopefully from my experience, you can learn from this experience to apply it into your own lives and help you achieve the goals that you want to achieve going forward. So stay tuned. This episode just coming up in a second. It's only a short, brief episode, but it's to the point, and hopefully will motivate you no matter what day it is, regardless of the title of Motivation Monday. What is your fuel? It's Motivational Monday. How's it going? Hope you all had a good weekend. A little insight into my weekend. So I had a nice few drinks with a friend. They even do party at the weekend. Don't really drink that much. And after maybe 5 or 6 G&Ts, I did feel a bit worse for wear the next day. So drinking is something I barely want to knock on the head, because it's not really agreeing me at all now. So if you feel the same, let us know. Comment in the comments below. Give us a thumbs up if you feel the same after a few drinks, especially when you're used to being quite active. It's quite hard to try and drink and function as normally as you'd like to the next day. Did a good swim session in the evening, but was way off the pace, felt really weak. Maybe a few little sick episodes in my mouth, not to disgruntle you all, and then it only lasted half an hour. So, but feel better today. Get a good night's sleep. Gonna have a nice early night tonight and a good rest. But yeah, Monday again. We're here, starting the week as we mean to go on. So, I want to know what you've got going on. What are you going to be doing? What are you going to be achieving this week to get you closer to your goals? Whether that's financial, exercise, losing weight, whatever it may be. So if you do have any goals, let me know in the comments below. Give us a thumbs up if you got any goals. Send us a DM on Instagram if you got any goals that you're looking to do this week. And what I'm going to talk today about motivation is what is your fuel. So I said on the title, what is your fuel? And just going to give you a little story about my fuel and what fueled me to get to the point where I am now in terms of the exercise I do, the triathlons I've done, the long distance bike rides I've done, etc. So when I went away travelling, this was going back when I was 22 now, back in 2005. I did spend a good year, bumming around, didn't really do a lot of exercise, but wanted to know that I wanted to come back and play football again, which was something I was very keen to do after stopped playing football for a bit because I was a hairdresser. Couldn't play Saturdays because obviously I was working, and only just playing five-a-side. So it's something I was keen to really kind of start again when I came back from travelling, follow my passion and do what I enjoyed, and that was, football at the time. So came back, I was away for nearly a year, so I didn't really do a lot. Like I said, when I was away, just apart from bumming it on the beach and drinking and enjoying myself. So when I came back, I knew I wanted to get stronger again. So first session back, I went straight in and did a pre-season session with the football team. Hoping to get back in the team. Not playing for a long time, probably definitely rusty in my touch. But what you want to know about me, that before I went away, I was really keen in terms of going along to football training. My dad used to run a side, under 18s, and I used to go along and train with them just to, do the training. It wasn't because I was playing for them, I just enjoyed the training and always grown up. My dad did a lot of physical exercise with the football team that we managed. So, even at the age of like 10, 11, we were strong. Physically strong in the last sort of 10 minutes of a game where you can, where those games can be won or lost. So it's something that's kind of been drummed into me. I've always enjoyed the exercise element of the football side of things rather than just playing the football as most people like to do. Rather go and play football rather than being active. But key thing is you've got to be strong to be able to play the sport, and the more physically active you are, the better you're going to play because you're more physically able. So that was key. So I came back, did the exercise session, and it was a tough session. And we were doing a drill where we had to chase the ball down around people, chase a few cones. And I remember feeling absolutely knackered at the time. So to the point where eventually I couldn't do any more exercise. I was literally, my legs wouldn't carry me any further. And for me, I've never ever not completed an exercise session. Something I always pride myself on. I didn't do one at the weekend, feel disappointed, but it kind of fuels you to do better next time. So this was a catalyst for me, and it felt really unfit. Legs felt weak, felt nothing in me. I was like, right, I'm not going to feel this way ever again. I'm going to get in that team, be the fittest in the team, and that was it. After that, I started thinking, right, how can I get fitter, rather than just going along to football once a week and playing at weekends. I had to do more, so started to run to work, which was maybe 2 miles or so. Maybe run there, get the bus home, and then run back in the next day, bus home, that kind of thing. So I was doing maybe that 2 or 3 times a week, and just starting to feel a lot fitter and stronger. And I think I started playing again. So yeah, I was getting back in the team, started playing okay, and then my fitness developed again over that year, but it really took me probably another year to really get stronger. So what I did that pre-season, I decided my dad suggested actually to do a half marathon. So that's what fueled me really, because I'd done a half marathon actually before I went travelling, just something I wanted to achieve, and say I'd done a local half marathon, which was very popular and still very is, and did that in 1:45, so not a bad time at all, but I wasn't really a runner or focusing on that as much, so I was just running to and from work, running a few long runs at weekends, nothing specific, and then decided to do the half marathon again as a pre-season, keep me active over the pre-season, and ran really well, ran 1:32 I think it was, so that really surprised me. I didn't expect to run almost like 10 minutes quicker than what I did a year or so before. So that was it really. After that gave me the fuel, kind of like, okay, I can probably do quite well with running. So in the end I went and did a few more half marathons that summer, and then joined and then actually started training again, and I was just leaps and bounds ahead of the other guys because I was fitter throughout the summer. I didn't stop, kept active, and then that pre-season or that season felt strong, was running really well during the games, the engine and the team, and then it kind of I was doing a lot of running as well. Actually joined a running club, started doing running sessions, and it was kind of, I started enjoying the running more than the football because the results were dependent on me as opposed to being dependent on someone else in the team, and that's what I really liked about the triathlon side of things, or which I went into eventually. But the running side of things to begin with was I could only let myself down, and that was really nice. So taking ownership for my own success really, or own failures, depending on what I was doing. So that led that season to go on and eventually do another half marathon towards the end of the year. But my last game actually, when I played football, was not ended because I played the whole game and decided that was it. It was ended because I had a clash of heads with my teammate. I went in for a header and made full contact with the top of his forehead here, and he had a nice maybe 2 or 3 stitches here, and as you can see, you might be able to see there, it's faded a bit now there, but I cracked my head open. It was so you can see it on Instagram, nice line down there. Cracked my head open, about half an inch deep, inch wide, just like an egg basically. Blood everywhere, broken nose, still can't breathe through one nostril. Face blew up, nice and bruised basically. And my only worry actually after that was that I would be fit enough to do the half marathon again, which was in maybe 4 to 5 weeks. And I did the half marathon, a little bit sore on the head, probably around 1:35, but it was kind of, it proved to me really that I didn't really need football anymore, and I was enjoying the running so much more, and running led into triathlon eventually down the line. But it all stemmed from feeling how unfit I was, and I think a motivation that you can take away from this is that you need to find something that's going to fuel you to get better, and whether that's pain that you're in at the moment, or pain that you might be experiencing in the past, or you might have experienced in the past, that you can kind of just have in the back of your head to kind of fuel you to get you to your next goal. Because we're going to go through points of being uncomfortable when we don't like exercise or don't like what we're doing, but what is the end goal that is going to really get you to the goal that you want to achieve? I mean, if I take about being uncomfortable, you need to kind of understand why it's important to be uncomfortable. There's certain points where I've learned through triathlon and running that you're going to feel uncomfortable, but sometimes you've got to just block out that pain and keep pushing on. Case in point, I went out the weekend cycling, really good session, but halfway through, probably for about an hour before the end, I had really bad stomach cramps, really bad, couldn't drink any more water, didn't know what it was, whether it was something I ate or drunk, but it made my back ache quite a bit, and it was quite uncomfortable. But I knew I couldn't slow down and ease up, which I probably would have done if I was on my own, and then just kind of took it easy on the way back. But we were going pretty fast, and getting to the end of the ride, and the guys were leading out pretty strong. So to kind of just block it out, dig in, think, right, I can't slow down because I'm just going to be left on my own. I need to keep on this wheel and keep going. And, you know, that's the kind of point that you need to do. You need to understand that pain and really focus on not putting too much focus on it. You know, it's going to fade, it's going to go. My stomach, as soon as I got home, eased off within an hour. You know, it was fine, and I feel good. So you got to take those points where you're going to feel uncomfortable during your workout, or feel a bit hungry because you're not eating as much, or, you know, if you're a bit bored because you're saving money and you're not going out as much. You know, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're not going to achieve what you want to achieve. So you need to focus on, you know, right, that small sacrifice is going to help me in the future get more active, live with a bit more freedom, with more money because I'm saving more money, or, you know, feel stronger and fitter because I'm more energized because I'm working out and doing the sessions that you should be doing at any time of night. And so that is the really key. Just focus. Don't focus too much on the negative. Focus on the positive, and really focus on that fuel. So I want to know, question of the day on this one is, what is your fuel? What is fueling you to get active? So hit me up on Instagram. What is your fuel to get active, to get fitter, get stronger? My fuel is feeling really fit, and I'm, you know, not very strong, and that's always lived with me now. So I never want to go back to that place. I want to keep moving forward rather than going backwards. I never ever want to get back to where I was, and I know I will never do that because I've been pushing my fitness on and on and on, and I'm probably fitter now than I was when I was 22. I definitely am fitter. So, you know, you got to look at these things and think, right, is my catalyst strong enough? If it's strong enough, is your pain strong enough? Focus on that pain and how you don't want to be in that pain ever again. And as that pain goes away, if you feel that you're not motivated as much, you maybe can go back to that pain again and think, right, I don't want to ever go back there again, so I need to keep moving forward, even if it's just little steps along the way. All right, so what is your fuel? Comment in the comments below. What is your fuel to change? And I'd love to hear your thoughts on what your fuel was. And if you've got any questions about how you could be more motivated, then hit me up on the Plant Powered Show, and then we can answer them for you, maybe in a show going forward later this week or maybe next week. But that's me for tonight. I'm going to get ready for bed, early start tomorrow, but hope you have an amazing Monday. It's a great day. It's a great time to be alive. And give us a thumbs up. Please like and share this video if you enjoyed it. And we'll catch you again tomorrow on Topic Tuesday for the Plant Powered Show.